Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel JI Colorist. My name is Jody and today we are going to be looking through my book by David Peterson called The Mouse Guard. And I am looking at this book because today is also the start of Chinese New Year, and so we are starting off with the year of the snake today on January 29th. Chinese New Year is celebrated for a couple of weeks, but we on the calendar itself, it says that today is the day. So I looked at a few of my books that had snakes in them, and I decided that since I do want to still get further ahead in the Mouse Guard than it was one of my books last year to work on, and I didn't work on it as nearly as much as I wanted to, I thought I would take the opportunity to look at all the snake pages with you here today, select one, and then color it on screen. So snakes are not probably a favorite subject for most of us here in the coloring community, but then again, neither are mice. But these mice I find are just adorable. I love the sketchy style of David Peterson. I love that there are novels based on these characters. And so let's just take a look at the book. I have disc bound my book, and I have actually also gone and printed out some of the information because these are all characters from David Peterson's books. So there are certain mice that are certain colors, and you know me, I like to follow and make my mice the way they look. So I've got some print colored pictures of the different, these are all the INS patrons, and these are what some of the mice look like. So I just have this inserted at the beginning of my book. And again. And then I've also printed off some of the actual words that describe some of the mice as well, and what the different meaning of some of their names. So that's what I have at the front of my book. I also, at the front of my book, have a little number chart that I'm keeping track of how many pages. I started keeping track when I had 80 pages left in the book, which is a lot. This is a 10 by 10 book, which is also on my list of things that I want to tackle every month. I want to do a page from a 10 by 10 book. So this is one of those. Now I've flagged all the pages with snakes on them, so we will just jump to those pages themselves. If you ever want a complete flip through of my pages, including the ones that I have done so far, leave that in the comments below. I don't normally do flip throughs until I have a full book finished, but maybe you're interested in seeing my progress. So here is a double page snake page, and it's huge. It's got some huts in the background, a windmill here. The snake is kind of hidden in the grass, and we've got a mouse on top actually riding him with a bit in his mouth and a saddle and stuff. So he's actually like a battle snake. So he's not, the mouse is not battling the snake in this case. The mouse is riding the snake. So that is a totally unique page, and it is also huge. So I'm not sure if I'm ready to tackle this page per se. Then the next page is also a huge double spread, but it doesn't look quite as intimidating because there isn't a lot of background stuff. So we've got a snake coiled around some eggs, which I assume are the snake's eggs, and then we have three mice actually doing some battle with the snake. So they look like they're probably trying to steal the eggs, and yeah, I think the snake is probably annoyed with that. So there is this double page spread as well, and that would get 2 pages done. And then we have this page, and this page I finished it just yesterday or last week, and I actually posted it on my community tab. And this snake is called the serpent. So I kind of was thinking that this double page spread kind of looks like pendants that you would hang on a wall or scrolls. So we've got the serpent, and then we have the heron. I did this serpent, and then I decided, well, that was actually so much fun, I might as well finish it off and do the heron. And I'll show you the items that I used on this page that made it fun. So you know me, I can't resist to do more than just the normal coloring in this book. So what I have used is actual Craftsmart tempera paint sticks, and I've been using these. These two are the metallic ones, and I used that on this snake here. So I'll maybe zoom you down a little bit, and you can see hopefully some of the reflection. It's quite light in here right now, so maybe I'll adjust the lighting a bit. I don't know if that helped adjust the lighting, but yeah, so the snake is done with. The green is the Craftsmart metallic dark green, and the gold here is the metallic gold paint sticks. And then I used some gel pen, so I used a Signal Ball gold, and then I used the green metallic for some of that. And then to get the white, or sorry, the black back on here, I used a Pitt Artist pen in black. And yeah, and then for around the outside, this gold here, I used the Staedtler metallic pen. It's not very metallic, but it is does need to be used because it is in my stash. So that is how I did the serpent. Then the heron, I thought, well, I might as well complete that. And so I used the tempera paint stick in neon blue. And so that's what this background is. And if you would like to see me do some Craftsmart paint sticks, the tempera paint sticks on a page, leave a comment below because I would be happy to share how I'm using them. It's been quite fun. Then I used a Signal metallic blue for some of this area here, and some Pitt pens for here. And yeah, I'm really happy how these came together. No bleed through at all, and it didn't warp the page. The paint sticks dry almost instantly, so it's a lot of fun, and it makes a fast page. So that is how I did these ones. And the last picture in here of a snake is this one here. And this has got a really nice close-up view of the snake. Let's just adjust this. And it's also got two baby snakes kind of coming out of their egg here. And we've got, I believe that's Kenzie or Saxon up here battling the snake. And yeah, so this is a single page. And so this might be one that I actually tackle. We've got a lot of maple leaves here, which is kind of fun. I could do them in some reds and some oranges and some bright colors, which would be nice. And yeah, so out of the three big, because I've already finished the one snake page, finished this one. The other snake pages, two are big double page spreads, and then we have this single page one. So let me go away and think about that for a minute. I think I am kind of leaning towards this one though. So let me think about it and I'll be right back. All right, surprisingly enough, I have decided to tackle this double page spread that has the ribbon up at the top and the bottom, and I'm encouraged to tackle this. I think it will be a fun page to do. It's got some large areas on it. I am going to do the snake in two different colors of distressed crayon and get that down first, and then I'll be able to tackle the rest of the items. The distressed crayons, I've done a bunch of swatching on here to see which ones I liked best, and I'm decided on frayed burlap and old paper. So the frayed burlap is the darker green, so that will be the top of the snake, and then the underneath the snake is the old paper, and it is a lighter green, so it'll be a little bit lighter underneath, and I think that that will do well. So that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to grab I'm actually going to remove both of these pages from the book, because that is the benefit of disc binding your book. And I'm going to remove the book. I'm just going to put a page marker here so I know where the book starts, or where those pages go, I should say, and take that aside. So along with my Tim Holtz media mat that I have stuck on a piece of plastic, I also have grabbed 2 different brushes, and that's so that I can keep the colors separate, and that will be that. So I am going to go ahead and place a little bit. Actually, I'm not even going to worry about protecting this paper on my desk, because I'm going to be swapping it out soon anyway. So let's just get into it and get dirty. So I'm going to rub some of this on here. Going to pick it up with my brush, and I'm just going to start right on, and I'm going to grab a few sticky notes to keep things where they should be. Voiceover Jody here. Just want to let you know that later on in this video I will talk about some facts about Chinese New Year. You can erase a little bit with this. They are a lot drier than gelatos, so I don't put a lot down on my mat because they seem to dry out rather quickly. But I do not do them direct to the paper. I do direct to paper on the tempera paint sticks, but definitely not on this one. Just holding my paper still. Before we start on some of the facts about the Year of the Snake, I just wanted to let you know that the website www.chinesenewyear.net is where I got most of this information, and I will leave a link to that in the video description. If you notice that I have gone over the edge a little bit, certainly come with a eraser and erase that, and you need to erase it fairly quickly, so erase it before you let the pigment dry too much, and then you'll be fine. That's how I do the dry rubbing, so I will go ahead and continue on with the dark green. I'll finish off this section, and then I'll be back when we do something else. So I'll speed up the camera a little bit and you can see a little bit more of this process, but I won't make you watch this whole thing. All right, see you back here shortly. As the video description describes, this is the Year of the Snake. The Chinese zodiac follows the lunar calendar, and it is basically celebrated for 16 days, and it starts January 29th. Okay, so this is how the snake is looking so far, and we are moving across now to the next section. Now you'll notice that this looks a little bit wet, and that's because I've sprayed just a tiny bit of water on the top of here, and because this dries so quickly, I go and get just a titch of water on here to pick it up a little bit easier. So that also kind of changes the intensity a little bit sometimes, and that's okay because then it's not such a flat application as well. So just wanted to maybe point that out to you. So show you a little bit what I mean. This is already pretty much dry, so all I do is take a little bit of water from up here and come down, and you just are able to pick up the product a little bit easier. So 2025 is called the Year of the Wood Snake. There are actually 12 Chinese zodiac signs, and the snake is the 6th animal in the 12-year cycle. I also use my finger as a guide, so sometimes I'll put my finger down to stop from getting too far. But there. that is how that works. So I'm going to shift over to this side and finish off the snake on this side, and just continue on. Just wanted to kind of show you that if you are having problems with your Tim Holtz drying out, then just a titch of water will help pick up and smooth out. The Chinese actually have an origin story that explains all of the 12 animals, and you may find that interesting. Okay, and I just want to make sure that the colors kind of match up in intensity. There will be a gap, so that's all right too, but I'll be back when this side is done. The Chinese origin story tells how the Jade Emperor, in order to select the 12 honored animals, held a race across a celestial river. The snake was inconspicuous, as everyone's attention was on the stronger and faster animals. Once the race started, however, the snake swam quickly with the aid of the currents of the river without being seen, and caught all the animals it surpassed by surprise when it slithered across the finish line, notching the 6th place among the animals. All right, so again, the darker green was Frayed Burlap by Distressed Crayons by Tim Holtz. And the next, the underbelly is going to be Old Paper, again a Tim Holtz Distressed Crayon. I'm going to apply it exactly the same. I'm also going to apply it around this area right here because I think that would be a lighter spot. And I may apply it to the eggs. I'm not quite sure. I'll see how the picture is looking with just it as the underbelly. So again, same thing. This is a creamier one though, so I'm happy about that. I've got a new clean brush. Do that. I'm going to put down some masks here. And this is a lighter color, so I'm fine with it going on lighter. That's the whole idea. And I can blend it right into the darker area. All right, so I will finish off this rest of the snake, and then we'll be back to do something else on our picture. All right, we are done with the Tim Holtz Distressed Crayon application, and I'm happy with how that went on. I looked at this and I decided not to do these in green. Instead, I am going to pull out my Mr. Pen Sleek Pastel Gel Highlighter, and I'll just show you the color that it is. So it's kind of like a light skin tone or a light eggshell, and I thought that would be good for these eggs. And this is super creamy. It is Mr. Pen is the brand, and you just go ahead and actually color right on, because it is a highlighter and it's meant for like Bibles and stuff like that. And I'm just going to color right directly on the paper itself, and then I'm going to take a clean makeup applicator that you can just buy at the dollar store, and I'm going to smooth it out and rub it into the paper. You can see where I'm going. Now this doesn't erase well, so try to not get it in other places. It does stay creamy for quite a while, so it is easy to kind of manipulate. You can still see through, so we'll still see the speckles on the egg because it is a highlighter. Now it does dry down, but it does take probably 24 hours. So I kind of treat it more like a gelato, but in this case I have apply it directly to the paper. Okay, I thought I would show you how I am going to do this bottom border. I did it on one side just so that you could get the full effect. You can still see through, so here's the top border. You can still see through, but it is also very shiny, and it is already dry. I did that with something called a tempera paint stick, and it is by Craftsmart. So tempera paint stick is paint in a stick form. You apply it, and basically it goes on much like lipstick. So I have masked off this area already, and I'm just going to show you how I apply it. You can't really manipulate it and move it around a lot, so you kind of have to place it down and be happy with where it goes. This is a thinner stick than normally it comes in a thicker stick, and there's shorter. This one's a little bit longer. You can buff it a little bit with your finger or a like a tortillon, but it dries very quickly, and if you keep buffing it, it will start to pill and lift. So there's a very short amount of time that you're going to work it. This one is the gold metallic, so it's quite sheer. If you apply many coats, it will get thicker or more opaque, but that's already dry. It's kind of fun. So I'm just using this Post-it note as a mask, and I am just going right on top and just creaming it onto the paper. I can, like I said, you can move it a little bit with your finger, but not a lot. And it's, the more you put on it, the more opaque it will become. And that's how I'm doing the edge, because I wanted it to be kind of like a shiny scroll, but I didn't want to use watercolor because this is quite a large area, and that much watercolor would definitely make my paper buckle. So I've been having quite a bit of fun with the tempera paint sticks ever since I first saw them. And Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter, has also used these on her channel kind of recently. So if you want to see some other applications. So my brand I just picked up at Michael's, and for 12 it was less than $8. So don't spend a lot on these. This is normally a kid's craft, so that's where you may find them. And I'm looking for, they also have sell it in a pastel set. So the set that I bought was the metallics and neon, and the next set. Now I've got a chunk there. I'm going to take my craft knife and lift that off. And you can also go over areas with, I've done pit pens on top of it, and that's worked quite well. You don't need water to apply them. And there you go. It's as quick and as shiny as that. I'll leave this dry. I also did a little bit of glaze. I mixed a yellow and an orange glaze to do the eye, and I'm just waiting for that to dry. And this side of the page is the eggs with the highlighter, and that is drying as well. So I'll set this page aside and come back to it a little bit later, and we'll continue on coloring the mice. All right, just thought I'd bring you back to show you the tempera paint sticks. Okay, here we are back, and just so that you can see the whole picture so far, I did the gold tempera paint on the bottom, I did the blue neon on top, and then I came in with a Crafter Square metallic marker in blue. It's not very metallic, but it is kind of a nice blue, so I thought it would go good there. And on the bottom, so that's how this side of the page is looking. Again, this was the Tim Holtz Distressed Crayon on the snake, the top and bottom. I did some glaze for his eye. I may come in here with some triple thick or something to put on top so that the eye actually is raised a little bit more and shinier, but that's with the glaze alone. Then this side of the page, again, same thing on the bottom and the top, and I completed this with the highlighters. After the highlighters are dry, so it's a gel highlighter, you are able to come in and shade a little bit. So I brought out a peach Brutfuner Macaron colored pencil. So these are the pastel 50 set, and I have shaded a little bit around on the egg to give it a little bit more realism and a little bit more definition, but I'm not going to spend any more time on the egg. I just wanted to let you know that I did shade with pencil on top of the egg after it was totally dry. So you can color on top. It doesn't, the colors are similar, so it may not look like it, but I think it adds just enough shading that it does make a difference. For the mice, I have gone in with my Derwent Graphitint and also some Inktense, and I'm doing that in the whole book for the mice so far, so I've been using similar colors. I do have a couple of reference books for the mouse guard, and I'll show them to you. I have two of David Peterson's books. I have Mouse Guard's Legends of the Guard, and also Mouse Guard Baldwin, the Brave and Other Tales. If you notice in here, there is this mouse here that has a similar headdress and outfit on. So that was what I styled this person to be. This is Saxon, and he's got the red cape. So I did him like that, and I will do this one shortly off screen. But that's what the mouse look like, and I just thought I'd get some of that done before I spent some more time on the snake. Today we are doing the going to work more on the snake though, because this is the year of the snake, and that's why we're having this video. So that's why I did those other pieces on my own. When it's in the book, it will be like that because there will be a slight space in there, but yeah, this is how the page is looking so far. Really do like the tempera paint sticks, and this is just on top of the paper itself, so it dries. It's not going to rub off. It's pretty good. If you do go outside the lines a little bit, you can quickly pick it up with some water and get it off of the page, but really it goes on and it dries quite quickly. All right, let's work a little bit more on the snake. I'll drop the camera down again, and we are going to do some shading and do the mouth of the snake. I'm going to stick with the Brutfuner Macaron pencils, and let me drop the camera down. All right, the inside of the mouth, I've put some ivory pit pens on the two little teeth down here and the two teeth up there. Just as a base, I will come in and color them some more with some brown and some gray, but I just wanted that. I'm using the same color, which is peach, and that is the same color that I used over on top of the eggs, just to kind of start the color here. So I'm just starting with the light, kind of a flesh color, and then I can go on top of that with some darker colors. Mouse Guard to me as a book is kind of muted colors. So now I'm coming in with coral, and I'm going to do a little bit more pink in some areas. And that's not pink enough. This is the color fuchsia. I don't have a red in the set, which is fine because I don't think that the snake's mouth is going to be actually red per se. I think it would be more of a subtle. So now I'm coming back in with the coral, and I'll just blend that out. So I think the very center of the snake's mouth would be a little bit more pigmented, and then as it gets closer to the edge, it's going to be the peach color. So I'm doing this side a little bit darker than this side, so this side is going to have a few more coats on it, and that'll just help with the depth of the paper or the image, because this side is closer to us. So yeah, that's how the mouth is going to look. It's a little bit scary. Let me grab a color to do some details on the snake now. I have my macaron pencils just in a tub like this on the top of my trolley, and then I've just got a piece of paper, and I'm just gonna put some color down to see which one I like best. I think this color is a little bit too close, so I'm going to use the brighter color, and it's willow green. And what I'm going to do is these little areas in between, I'm just going to do a little bit of color, because there are little gaps here in the illustration, and I'm just going to fill those gaps with the brighter color. And if there's any areas where I may have missed some pigment, I can use color pencil at this time to fill those areas in. But yeah, I think it just adds a little bit. I'll go over to this side and look for gaps on this side. On screen you will see the current year of the snake and when the previous ones and the next one will be, along with the other zodiac animals. Now there's some gaps along here, so I'm going to do that as well. For people born under this zodiac sign, snakes have a deep and complex mind, but if they love with their whole heart. A snake is a cautious, introverted observer, cool and mysterious in behavior owing to their suspicious and insecure nature, yet their armor conceals abundant sensitivity, wisdom, and passion. It just adds a little bit of shadow to those areas. Like I said, if there's any scales that are obviously too, add a little bit of this color, and because not all of the scales will be exactly the same shade. Adding a different green onto them. Okay. Now I'm going to go and get kind of more of a mossy green color. Okay, this color is called leaf green, so I'm just going to use it really lightly, and I'm just going to kind of dull down and add a little bit of shading along the edge, just so everything isn't such a bright contrast. Because I think the snake would be not pristine. I think he's going to be dirty, so this is just kind of adding a bit of shading to the edges. And you probably can't even see that much on camera. I just wanted to take this opportunity to wish everybody a happy Chinese New Year. I hope that you have a wonderful year. The year of the snake should be interesting for all of us, and I hope that you get some creative time and you've enjoyed this video. Happy New Year! This makes it look a little bit more realistic. And a little bit of shading around his eye. And finally my furnace shuts off. So I'm leaving the white or the light color in the center, and I'm just doing the light shading on the very edge of the snake's belly. Now you're not going to want to blend with any kind of wet blending solution because you are going to activate the distressed crayon underneath, so keep that in mind. So just blend with the pencil themselves, or you could use like a dry Caran d'Ache blender stick, that would work. Now the colors are muted, and I'm doing the whole book in kind of muted tones, which is kind of fun. I was a little bit worried that this blue might be too bright, but with the blue metallic, it helped mute that down. So I think we're still doing good. All right, I am going to not add a bunch of sparkle to this snake because this is a kind of a graphic novel, and so I'm not doing a bunch of sparkles or shiny stuff on the actual snake. I am going to go and put some gloss on his eye though, so let me grab that. I am going to use the glossy accents because this is a relatively small area. I did use some glaze on this little vial that he carries with him, which is actually, I believe he's collected snake venom on that vial. Oh, and we do need to do his teeth. So let me just put this on. Now I did put that over glaze, but the glaze had cured already for 24 hours, so that is also important to note. Okay, let's do his teeth. I'm going to grab some polychromos pencils for that, unless, well, mustard might be good. No, let me grab a couple of polychromos pencils. Okay, I've grabbed a light yellow ochre and brown ochre, and I'm just going to do some of his teeth need to be a little bit, so I want the yellow underneath to be a highlight. So I'm definitely not going to cover up the whole thing. Let me zoom you in a bit. Just what you wanted, zoomed in teeth. So I've got the yellow ochre, light yellow ochre, and put that down, but not to the very end. So I've still got some of the light yellow showing, and then I'm going to come in with the brown ochre and just kind of blend a little bit. So that's how I'm going to do the teeth. And the bottom teeth, they're just little stubbies here, so I'm going to actually, I want to lighten them up. They got kind of covered a little bit, and the ivory didn't really show too much, so I'm going to cover the whole tooth this time so that you can hopefully see them a bit more, and then just brown on the very bottom. Okay, so hopefully you could see those. I wonder if I put, what the heck, let's do it. I'm going to put glossy accents because the teeth aren't really standing out, so let's put a little bit of glossy accents on them. And that hopefully will just make sure that you know that they are teeth. All right. I'll let this dry. I'll complete the other mouse, and then I'll be back to show you a completed page. But that's as easy as it took to do a large snake. Not a fan of snakes, so I'm not going to do a whole bunch of other shading or anything on him. I think he looks good enough. The Tim Holtz Distress Crayon still allows all of the line art from the illustrator to show through, which is pretty key for this look. And yeah, I'm happy with how this is turning out, and I'll be back with the completed page. And here is the final page. As you can see, it's quite large. It's a 10 by 10 book, so it barely fits in the frame, so I will just move it a little bit here to show you that I did complete the archer, and that is a bow he's holding, and that is his hand reaching back into his quiver to pull out an arrow. So that is the archer man. I did a little bit more shading on the other mice, and I'm happy with how the snake turned out. I'm not going to do any more, like I mentioned, on this book itself. I don't try and put a lot of glitz and glimmer on the page. There's enough shininess just right here, and that's good enough for me. So there you are. Happy Year of the Snake. I hope that it is a positive year for you. And until the next video, I hope you have a creative and colorful week, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.